Yeah, right. It's working this time. Deconverted man here. All right. So I left you all hanging, I guess, or the few of you that watched, or whoever many watched by now. Who knows? I was reading this letter from David Jeremiah, where he was just about to ask for money after 2 pages worth of telling us that the end times wasn't really coming, but I get like it's I don't know. But at any rate, it's a thing he's trying to get money for. He said that signs were no longer the only way to proclaim signs, whatever that means. And God has given us access to all this media, which of course came from people, not from God. But he wants to reach all these people. Now, here it comes finally on the third page. If the Lord has blessed you in a special way, and you can give $135 or 3 easy payments of $45 or more today, I'll send you not only the hardback edition of the Book of Signs, but also 3 correlating study guides, the 3 album set of 31 audio messages, the Revelation Prophecy chart, and the bonus DVD of Sheila Walsh's interview, wherever the bleep that is. Wow! Or I could not send you anything. How about that? But whatever you feel led to give, please respond quickly. You will share the truth with the world in need. Now he finally capitalizes truth. And then he signed it, and he said, "P.S. The joy, blah blah blah, whatever." Anyways, so for a low payment of $135, or if God blessed you with less money, just send in less money until you paid up, and then you'll get these books because you're not buying them, you're giving him a gift, then he's giving you those. Like, I don't know. Then there's a check mark. You can just say no. I don't want to say. I don't want to get anything. I just want you guys to have the money for the ministry, because. And then there's another wonderful little part of this. That's all this magazine type feel to it, about the different things that they're selling for money, and then it lists out how much money it takes to run their stuff. So for 3 months on radio, it cost them 2.2 million. Now, here's the part that I do not understand. If you give them $1,186, the entire 3 month living on the edge of science campaign uh, radio of one station will be sponsored. I don't understand, like, how is 3 months. I guess that's on everything is 2.2 million. There must be a lot of radio shows that they're on if it only costs $1,186. Or maybe like they'll slap your name on a thank you, like if you give that amount. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, it's pretty clear to me that this David Jeremiah is a con artist, and he won't be sending. I won't be sending him anything. Now, I would send him something, but the envelope. This shows just how cheap they are. The envelope included is not even stamped. So it would cost me money to send him anything. So not worth it. All right, now you might think I'm done, but I'm not done, because there's a little bit to talk about. Dear Mr. Atheist has suggested that it might be time for atheists to boycott S.G. Thompson lead, because he keeps saying that atheists can't answer these questions, even though they have answered those questions many times, and he just keeps saying that, like, atheists can't answer the questions even though they've been answered. Now, I've made my stance clear many, many times in the past. The only D I'm in favor of is deconverting, deplatforming, or in this case, boycotting. I'm not a fan of that. Bad ideas need to be exposed. They need to be put on display for all to see. Yeah, is a risk. Don't get me wrong. There is a risk in doing that because some people are going to believe the bad ideas and some people are going to accept them. But there's a higher risk when you don't air out the bad ideas, I think. We have a free marketplace of ideas, and it might be that the fact of the matter is that we're living in idiocracy and the bad ideas win out. Well, in that movie, it was that the dumb people had more kids than the smart people, and there's some truth to that. But I don't know that the bad ideas will win out. I hope that they won't, but I think that it's a risk we have to take. Otherwise, you're going into grounds of censorship. You're going into grounds of deplatforming. Now, I think that where he's come, I don't know this dear Mr. Atheist fellow, but I think where he's coming from is a good spot. I understand where he's coming from. I think I've never talked to him or interacted with him, so I don't know for sure. But I think that it's like, look, we've answered these questions enough. Let's clean our hands of this person and just not respond to them already. It's been enough. And I get that. If you don't want to respond to anybody, you don't have to, of course. Uh, Not telling other people to not respond to them is kind of a different matter. Like G-Man, for example, he's dead to me. I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to debate him. I don't even really want to talk about him. But other people do. And it's like, hey, more power to you if you want to do that, whatever. I don't care. I don't get it. I think it's a dead horse and should be left alone at this point. And I think that there is a cutoff point, maybe you can make some argument, because it did happen with Shock of God. And now, for those of you who don't remember, weren't around during the Shock of God era, he was this really just, he was all over the place on YouTube. Like, everybody was posting about him and talking about him and trying to talk to him. And he was just a thick-headed numbskull full of himself. And he had the question that atheists can't answer. Is atheism true and legitimate or some or whatever it was? Now I can't remember exactly. And it was just an incoherent question and been dismantled and debunked and answered in every possible way that it could be. And I was a Christian at the time. So hypothetically, I should have been on his side, but I saw how big of a jerk he was to non-Christians and even to some Christians. And I was like, this isn't helping anyone. This isn't, if you dare to uh, speak out about him or criticize anything, he would just automatically put you in the timeout section, because he had to have chat rooms that he ran, and he had like he could kick people not out exactly, but it like put you in a separate chat room, like with everyone else had been kicked out, and that one room was way more fun talking because you didn't have to deal with them. So everybody that actually wanted to have a conversation went off and had these conversations. YouTube Live wasn't a thing back then, so these live events, weren't around, or he would have been all over the place with them. And I think what happened is people just stopped responding to him, and eventually, because of that, he faded away. Maybe he's still around, and I just don't know it. But I don't see him posting. I don't see anyone talking about him, other than the fact that I'm talking about him. So, but that kind of happened naturally on its own. Nobody had to say, let's boycott him, or let's do this as an active thing. So, I think that somebody like G-Man will eventually be ignored, and people will get tired of it and move on, and then it will be like not brought up at all. Maybe, but whether he quits or not is another story. Maybe he won't. Who knows? And now with SJ, um, I've pointed out many times that I don't know if she paid any attention to what I say or do. And even though I've talked to her, it seems like it's hard to know whether or not anything I'm saying is actually penetrating or not. Like if he gets what the problem is. I don't know. I honestly I have no idea. But she does get very defensive when you hold her feet to the fire, which when I started out, last time I talked to her, I immediately started with the question of, why she put the thing on Twitter about um, Christianity being a cure of depression. And oh, this is uncomfortable. Oh, I'm gonna leave. It's like, go ahead and leave. you know, I'm not gonna be this cheery host, this softball thing. That's something that I think that there's no, I mean, being nice at what level am I? I'm nice, but I'm still going to challenge your ideas and see. That might be uncomfortable, but you put them out there so that now they get challenged. But it does seem like he um, isn't very strong in terms of being able to stand up to words. I have a knock at the door. I'll be right back. Well, real life. All right. Hamburger time is here. Yes, I have hamburger delivery, not pizza delivery. All right. So what was I saying? Okay, so yeah, boycotting. I don't think it needs to be a thing. Um, I think that whether you respond to her or not, of course, I mean, I had a series pulverizing Piper's Pier, and I could have made that my like YouTube career because she everything every day she posts something on Twitter that's wrong. So I could just do endless videos about that. But there's other people out there. There's other fishes to fry. There's other things to talk about that I'm interested in, and that maybe you might be interested in. I don't know anymore because I just do whatever I feel like on YouTube now, and I just don't. I just have stopped caring at this point, or something. I don't even sure what I've stopped, but you know, and no, I care that I have all of you because I have quality viewers. I don't have quantity, but I do have quality people that respond and interact with me, and I'm very grateful for that. Um, by the way, donate to my no, I don't have anything to donate to. Hey, there's people in the chat. Hey, Snuffy. Hey, Gary. Let's see. Yeah, let's get them in here. Why not? And that because I said and more. So the and more will respect you more because you stopped caring. Look, I care about you. Don't care about whether or not I'm getting big numbers or whatever. It's just it's I've finally become jaded enough to be like, I'm going to talk about whatever the bleep I want now. Whee! Except for something. Maybe I won't. No, I'll talk about anything I want. But yeah, I mean, this actually, she's just, it's amazing how wrong a person can be. I stopped following her on Twitter because I just couldn't take anymore. I still follow Craig Reed, but even he's getting it's like, it's just like, you're not. it's like I want to engage with the questions I want to engage in, and you have to find the people that will engage you with those questions. And Craig really won't, like, we did have a good talk, I think, but he won't really talk about beliefs in general, like why does he believe what he believes or whatever. Like, I can't really get into that sort of debate. Here comes somebody. It's Snuffy.
Hello? Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you. Thanks for coming.
Oh, okay, you can't hear me. Cool.
All right, how's it going, Snuffy?
All right. I apologize if I have an echo. I have my thing set up to go through my speakers.
That's fine.
But no, I you know what? I'm glad I'm able to talk to you, dude.
All right.
It's been a little while, and I know you've gone through some shit, and I've gone through some shit in the last few months.
Oh yeah,
So it's glad to be able to just just talk and hang out and know that you're okay.
Yeah, well, I haven't had my court hearing yet, so I don't know. Yeah.
No, don't worry too much. You know what? You got like an assault 1 misdemeanor or something against you.
I don't know. It's like the lowest thing. I looked it up online, and it's like this is pretty. Like of the things that I could have been in trouble for, this is like if you're gonna get in trouble, this is where you want to get in trouble.
I'm telling you, I'm a criminal. Like just in general because I've had a shitty life, but you're not dealing with much.
Now
more
we're live. Just letting you know, we're live.
Good to know. I know. I'm not going to reveal any details.
Now you're not still a criminal. You were a criminal.
I have been a criminal in my past.
Yeah. So I think like I
am currently paying off a fine because I had a pretty bad car accident a few months ago, and technically I got a ticket for incorrect lane usage.
Incorrect lane usage? What does that mean?
Well, considering the fact that after getting sideswiped by a semi truck, I went off the road and my car flipped. I didn't actually stay in my lane. Now, did I?
Well, I guess not. I think that would be part of the consideration of the ticket. Yeah. Look, you got in an accident. But during that accident, your car was compelled to fly off of the rail
it's
into the air. You see, you broke this many laws while doing what?
I was obeying the laws of physics over the laws of man.
Look, when you killed all these people with your car, look, no, you don't understand, Your Honor. My car was flying through the air, and I had no control over it, and then it landed on those people. It's not my fault.
Or anything. No, but on the plus side, I know you had to recently relocate, and that's always a difficult process.
Oh no, yeah, but whoa, that was okay. Yeah, I mean, it was, but this place is actually bigger, so
it's good.
Change
is good.
So yeah, I think so. We got things going, and we got boxes, and
So I know the subject of the conversation because you were just doing a quick stream, and I sort of jumped in. But the subject is SJ Thomason.
Well, I call her Thompson. I don't know why, because my brain is weird that way. And then I was reading this letter I got from this guy that just wants money because the end of the world is maybe coming. I don't know.
Well, isn't it every year according to?
Yeah, well, it's so funny because the outside of the envelope says 4 months. Then the inside says 3 months. It's like completely inconsistent.
Well, are they considering mailing time in their prophecy?
Well, see, he doesn't actually say when or if the world is ending. It's just like you're part of something. What am I a part of? Like, it's so vague. It's like, here's all these signs in the Bible that are somehow going to point directly at you. Like,
here's the thing: is that I mean, I'm not trying to preach. I'm not saying anything anyone doesn't already know. But yeah, I mean, the standard, like, there's a plan, and this is going to unfold regardless. That's a standard pitch.
Yeah, well, when it comes to prophecy, usually you get somebody saying that they know the date, even though it says in the Bible that nobody but God knows the date. Or you'll get somebody that's like, well, here's signs, and I'm pretty sure it's around this time, or something like that.
Right.
And a lot of people will just say, no, it's going to be this date.
Entire religions, like the SJW. Sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. No.
If
Sorry.
If only.
The Jehovah's Witness and Seventh Day Adventist that both have, you know, all these acronyms.
Yeah.
Jehovah's Witness and Seventh Day Adventist that both have prophecies that said the end times was going to happen, like, 100 years ago.
Oh yeah, they yeah. And of course you have the cults that are basically,
right.
You're going to die cult because it's like, hey, what was the Heaven's Gate? Thank you.
Oh my God, that's yeah.
It's really sad, but
that's such a the thing I always go to whenever, because the typical apologetics we always deal with, and the one apologetic of no one would die for something that wasn't true.
Of course they did.
Really, every Muslim terrorist ever, the Heaven's Gate, the David Koresh thing.
Well, yeah. It's the difference between
the Waco, Texas thing. How many people have died for religions legitimately that you don't think are real?
Right. They believe it's true. It's like the point is like, well, but they believed it's true. Yeah, so what? And see, the thing with that,
they're willing to die for things that they believe in.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a very weak. It's part of the resurrection apologetic with Jesus that the disciples suddenly switched from this belief to that, which isn't. That's not really that big of a deal, because if you just think about it from a very mundane perspective, you were a fisherman for however long. This charismatic guy shows up,
and that's what you knew. You were taught by your parents.
This charismatic guy shows up. He says,
and he
"Follow
me." Metaphors that involve fishing. To convince you.
Yeah, and you're like, wow, this guy's just, I don't know, something about him. You leave behind your work, your life, and you follow this guy for the next however long, and he's saying things, and maybe he's doing some things that look like miracles to you, because what do you know? And then he dies on you. Well, now what? That doesn't make sense. How could he die? He can't die, But I made the perfect
special death.
Yeah, exactly. On purpose. Right. Well, but see, so there's got to be some way around it that in your head. So I think what was it? Paul, not Paul, Pelagia, did a good video on it. But I of course I went to the next level. I wrote a blog post that nobody cares about. And
I care, brother. I care.
I proved in my blog that Jesus' disciples ate the body.
That's pretty weird.
Well, I mean, okay, look.
Here's the thing. I understand it lines up because I've had this idea since I was a teenager about the whole mythos of the vampire lining up with the Christian mythology. And the whole eating my flesh, drinking my blood, eternal life.
Yeah, exactly. He says Jesus says to his followers, "Eat of my flesh."
3 days dead.
Right. He tells them what to do, and he says, "If you do that, I will dwell in you." So the guy dies. They're all freaking out. They see his body, and they're like, "Hey, remember when he said that? Let's eat him." They eat him up. It wouldn't take them that long. They eat him up. He's not dead because he's dwelling in them, so he's alive. There you go.
Honestly, that's. Here's the thing: is that annoyingly, I find that fairly improbable, right?
What, did they eat him?
But, is it more probable than someone rising from the dead?
Yeah, exactly. That was my other point. It took the same apologetic approach.
I really don't think you have the right idea there. But is it more likely than magic?
Yeah, of course, because they're like, well, nobody found the body. Well, because they ate them. There you go. I mean,
right. Well, there was even if there was a body, it would even a mass grave. Different. I don't want to get into the mythicism.
Yeah, right. Well, but that's the thing is that we weren't, we don't have. This isn't careful record keeping. We're and so there's a huge.
We're dealing with mythology and religious record keeping, which is
already suspect.
Purpose,
right?
Which is biased, right?
And it's not like the people at the time wrote it down. Even if they did, that's lost to us anyway, so we don't know. And it's not like people of the time were like skeptical. They all believed in weird stuff anyway. So and the other thing is, ultimately, it kind of boils down to, why would God pick one place to show up at one time? Like, why wouldn't God show up everywhere at the same time?
I know me and you have a huge disagreement on this, because I agree with you, like logically, like if an omnipotent God existed and wanted people to know of its existence, it would let itself be known. That's simple.
So it doesn't
conquer the shit.
Right. So the only way to explain it is it doesn't want that. It doesn't want everyone to know, or it wants faith. It wants people to believe in it.
And that's where me and you have a big personal disagreement. I mean, I want to be honest. This is not an echo chamber. Me and you have a big disagreement.
Let's disagree. Let's fight.
We've gone over this a couple of times. I am personally willing to accept a personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
And you are looking for the entirely logically and scientifically explainable definition or example. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you if you had some sort of weird experience happen to you, wouldn't you want to know if it was just in your head, or if it had,
right? Well, and here's the thing: is that I'm coming from a particular point of view, because I'm an individual with my own life experiences, and I've found that in my own life experiences, I don't have the brain wiring to hallucinate. I've done, let's just say I've done all the drugs.
I've done all the drugs.
No, I mean, if you want to talk about acid or LSD, if you want to talk about mushrooms, and all these, and peyote and all the other things that people say that you do this and you'll feel God, right?
Yeah.
Now, technically, I'm not, on the current cutting edge of medical experimentation. I haven't done pure DMT or whatever it is these newest woo peddlers are saying will let you see God.
Yeah.
I think it's DMT.
But but you haven't had the giant magnet on your head yet, though.
No, so. And I would love to, man. I would love to experience.
So I'm just saying, I don't know, but you might have the type of brain that can never experience these things. That's possible. There are people like that.
I can't say I have the type of brain that can't experience those. I can merely say that
so far.
I spent a good decade or more trying to experience things,
right,
and was never able to do so.
Well, that's all I'm getting at, is the personal experience might be a starting point, but then I think, you tell me if I'm wrong, that you would investigate what, as much as you could, right?
Well, absolutely. I mean, here's the thing. I have a personal experience that even though I was a lifeguard in a pool as a teenager, and I'm a great swimmer, I have a fear when I'm dropped in the ocean. I have an irrational paranoia.
Well,
so I understand that my brain can be irrational.
Oh yeah. I mean, because for all you know, it would have, it could, maybe a giant magnet was driven by your house by a semi truck. You don't know.
but here's the thing: is I also understand that the wiring and the chemistry of my brain seems to be fairly biologically explained, and even my irrational fears are explainable. But I don't have unexplainable, irrational experiences of the supernatural.
Yeah, and then that question that I posed, which is, at what point are we ever going to be really able to say, well, I can't explain that? Like, even if you ran out of explanations, if you say that, then that's it. You just don't know. Because if you say, oh, the door opened on its own, now I can't reach my door because it's way down the hall. So it doesn't matter. You can't see me anyway. But if the door opens on its own, that was interesting. That was another SJ post, since we're talking about her a little bit.
Oh my God! I'm glad you circled back to that. We were getting so off.
Yeah, we're getting way off track. I don't know, man. Look, was that God or that
the whole reason I wanted to get onto this was just to point out how annoyed I was by the dishonesty of apologetics like
SJ. Well, that's a given. The thing is, apologetics pretends to be something that it isn't.
I can understand people who are honest apologetics. I can understand because I mean I've watched. I'm a fan of Matt Dillahunty, and I've watched a few of those, right? Mm-hmm. And I watched what was it, Matt Dillahunty, and was it Jake Gunta? I think was the man's name, and the man was honest about his beliefs and explained why he believes them. And I disagree with him, but I can understand his honesty. He never once delved into pure dishonesty. But when someone like SJ comes forward and presents what is 100% a straw man argument that she knows is a straw man argument that has been presented to her before, and then just presents dishonesty about science that she has been corrected on before, she literally is just making herself she's just the female version of Kent Hovind at this point.
Yeah, well, or something like. I'd
Sorry
say,
if that's sexist. I should just say. No,
I'd say about. I'd put her slightly above Matt Slick.
Okay, well that's
not. But she's far more she's far more agreeable to talk to. But as far as
here's the thing, she's better. She's much better.
She is better at conversation.
Sociable. She's better at being sociable.
Yeah, absolutely. Very sociable, very nice person.
But when it comes down to it, she's still dishonest because.
But I
think it was you.
Now, see, I don't know if I can say dishonest. I can say wrong because I don't know if she knows that she's lying.
Was it? I don't want to. I correct me if I'm wrong. But was it you that had the discussion with her, where I don't know if it was you or someone else, but it was pointed out to her that in the Bible, it was said that there was once a test for God, and it was to create fire, and it was against this other god, Baal or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was proposed, well, if God never changes, we should still be able to do this. And her response is, oh, that's really interesting. I wonder if someone ever will put that to the test. And I'm like, what the fuck? We're putting it to the test right this second. And failing, and you were not acknowledging that.
Yeah, well, of course, the thing is, I wanted to get her to agree to do it.
But she wouldn't, even under hypothetical circumstances.
Of course not. You would never get anyone to agree to do it. And
that's
even
why
if you did,
the honest category.
They would say, well, it's different now than it was then. Like I just imagine
God never changed. No,
yeah, right. You can't have it both ways.
2,000 years wouldn't mean shit to me.
Yeah,
and I would know everything, and why would I change? Because I was already perfect. What the fuck?
Yeah, right.
Be true tomorrow if there is.
That's what I said. I said that too. I said either God, if God doesn't change, then we can do this test today. And it's like, so can we do that test today? Oh, yeah.
And literally, her answer was, oh, that's interesting. I wonder if anyone ever will. And I'm like what? What?
We're doing all this.
We're doing it right this second on this live stream, for fuck's sake.
Well, but I'm not doing it. I'm not sitting in altars to burn.
I was listening to that live stream, and I said, "Make fire, God."
Yeah. Well, hey, there you go. Well, but it's got to be altars. You have to have the same conditions.
And I'm the guy and literally, I'm the atheist The only one on YouTube, I think, who I've seen, who is willing to say, I'm willing to lower the bar.
Oh yeah, no, I would.
How many other
that's
atheists?
not a lower bar, by the way. If we actually did that, if we set up a couple of
willing to take personal experience,
yeah.
even if it's an electric fire, even if my hibachi or my George Foreman grill suddenly makes
it would be amazing. It would be amazing. And you know, I'll tell you. I want to say hi, Dr. Oblivious, because he's in the chat, or he robot. I don't know. I don't want to assume anything anymore.
Don't listen to me.
Huh? Dr. Oblivious? Well, he's oblivious, so I mean, you know, it's okay though. I love that name. It's a great name.
That's what I'm saying.
But don't be talking smack about people in my chat room.
I'm the guy who's willing to lower the bar all the way to personal experience.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm willing to even accept things that are explainable by coincidence as divinely inspired if they occur when quote unquote prayed for.
Like if a lightning bolt hit. Yeah, I mean that was
God make fire for me, please. And suddenly my Sherman grill shorted out and made a fire.
Yeah, that would be amazing. That would still be amazing. I mean, it's you know. Okay, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Sorry, let me tell this story here. Because I used to be a Christian for quite some time, 8 to 32. So, wow, it's been that long. I had to do math. I was like, oh, I've been an atheist for how many years? Oh, bleep, I'm old. Anyways, this pastor was talking to the church, and he said, okay, I was in a debate with this atheist, and he said that if there wasn't a God, that there's no God, and I'm going to drop this pen now, and God, if there's a God, then God will stop it from, hitting the floor, and that when he dropped it, it slid onto his clothes, down his leg, on into his shoe or whatever, so it didn't hit the floor. And it's like, wow, I'm like, well, that's great. And at the time, I'm like, huh, but why not just do that now? Like, let's see you do it, like, why are you telling me this story of this guy that you didn't even tell me who you debate? Like, I didn't ask those questions at the time, but, now it's, So let me ask you this. We're both atheists. What is the atheist answer to what caused the Big Bang? The atheist answer to that.
Well, okay, so obviously there can't be a single atheist answer because atheists are like a herd of cats. We all have our own fucking ideas and whatnot. If you want my personal answer, that's
No. See, this is.
I have to put a disclaimer in there, otherwise to me, right?
But consider what is being stated here. This is a tweet that Essay Thompson made.
From what I understand about physics and the universe, okay, there has always been an energy state of one form or another. Okay, what we know of the universe that we observe today is that it started with a Big Bang,
right?
Quote unquote, the Big Bang, which is honestly a slur by a theist, and anyone who does it research knows this, right? But an expansion of energy from a singularity point, right?
Yeah, but that's not what caused it.
That is not what caused the universe. That is not the beginning of the universe. That is just as far back as we can look, because whatever was before.
That's a scientific answer. So here's what
you want my opinion?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Sorry.
My personal opinion is that the universe has always existed in one form or another. And it is a quote unquote infinity of regress, like as one quote unquote famous quote that's kind of silly, but yeah, it is turtles all the way down. Yeah, we can see beyond. We can see to a certain point, and we can see there was something before that point, but the terms of before don't mean a lot without our current time-space continuum, and there has to have always been something as far as our understanding of time goes.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there was a universe before and it was infinite, whether it's a cosmos or a big crunch or a ring theory or whatever. There was no quote unquote creation moment because the universe was never created, because the universe always existed, because if it didn't exist, nothing would exist, and then there would just be an equals 0 on the page. Like,
right, yeah. Well, yeah.
As reality goes, the universe exists because the universe exists, and exists in the form we know it in from a certain point. That doesn't mean that it came from nothing or that it was created. It just means that we can look back that far and see where it became what it is today. But that almost certainly means that there was something before that point.
Well, let me read this tweet that I'm talking about here. I put the link in the chat, but I might have to put it in the description as well. Probably a good idea. Okay, so she says, atheist answers to life's biggest question. Now, first of all, whatever you say after that's going to be a straw man, because there is no atheist answer to anything, because atheism is not a worldview. Atheism is not a religion. Atheism does not prescribe what you believe about anything. It describes your non-belief. She knows that. Come on. But she's trying, I guess she wants attention. I don't know, whatever. So what caused the Big Bang? That's not an atheist question.
Atheism in itself is the answer to a single question.
Yeah. What caused the Big Bang? That's you could ask me, and I'd be like,
I don't know for sure, but
I'll be like, I don't know. I'm not. I asked Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That the scientific community,
yeah,
leans towards.
So this is the thing is there isn't an atheist answer to this question, and there might not even be a scientific answer to this question yet.
Well, now we get the whole assertion of certainty versus the unacceptable.
So here comes these loaded questions. What caused the Big Bang? Well, why do I consider that loaded? Because you're assuming there was a what. There might not be a what.
You're also assuming that there was a cause.
You're also assuming there's a cause, right? Then the next question is, how did the Earth overcome, quote, statistically miraculous, quote, odds within its 10 habitable zones? Now, of course, what does she mean by statistically miraculous? Where's she getting that from? Because I don't think that there's a such thing as a miracle in the first place, so I wouldn't give you an answer to that loaded question.
That's entirely ignorant.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would say there's no way to answer that question because
the Earth didn't overcome anything.
It didn't overcome anything. First of all,
there is no miraculous zone.
Yeah,
no.
I don't know what the bleep you're talking about or where you're getting this idea from, so I wouldn't answer that question.
That entire statement is just ignorant nonsense.
Why did humanity have a moral duty to follow the golden rule? Ben, there's so many. Okay, that assumes
otherwise we wouldn't have fucking genocides.
It assumes that humanity has a moral duty, and it assumes that all of humanity has followed the golden rule, both of which are false.
The entire concept of an objective morality that is quote unquote written on men's hearts is disproven by the actual history of humanity.
Yeah. And then why do all humans seek
done horrible things and justified it in strange ways? Period.
And then of course,
100% entirely subjective.
Now
there's no argument over this because to argue otherwise is a complete failure based on reality.
Yeah, and then the last one was, why do all humans seek purpose? Well, I would actually answer that one. Not all humans seek purpose.
No, I I smoked a lot of weed, and I knew a lot of fucking dudes that smoked weed and pretty much had no purpose.
Yeah, not everybody seeks purpose in the way that she's at all. Period. End of story. Not even
20, 30 years of my life before I found a purpose.
And the thing is that the seeking of purpose doesn't mean that there is a purpose. See, that's the other problem with that is even if all humans did X, that doesn't. This kind of reminds me of C.S. Lewis, where you'd be like, there's a Christ-like hole in everybody, and they're all hungry for Christ, and they just don't know it. And it's like, well, whatever. I mean, no, it's not a good analogy.
It's funny because I'm a bookworm, and I read those books when I was young, and I never got the Christ analogy.
Yeah, it was.
But here's the thing: is I read a lot of books. I was a bookworm, and so that the quote unquote Christ analogy was buried under so many other like good metaphorical analogies of good versus evil and all the other fiction that I read. But sort of the point of fiction.
There's a tribe called, I can never pronounce the name right, but it's the Piana tribe, and they do not have the same sort of concept of time like we do. Not only do they not believe in a god, but they don't really have a past or a future. They kind of live in the now, and they don't. That's their purpose is to exist day to day. So they don't seek purpose. So they're the counterexample to that question.
Right.
So then her answer that she decides for the atheist, for all atheists, is science. I'm like, well, my response is no, science isn't the answer. Science is what gets us to the answer, maybe.
Science is a process.
It's nobody would answer what caused the Big Bang. Science. How did the Earth overcome statistically miraculous science? Nobody would do that. This is a blatant straw man. So where you're saying that deceptive would be what I would say here, because this is obviously blatantly deceptive. She kind of has to know enough to know that this isn't an actual atheist answer.
To be on the point of why I also think SJ is deceptive is that specifically she falls into the exact same category as Kim Ham. She has been educated many times in many debates by people. She has been shown where she was wrong. She has been told what the actual science is versus the pseudoscience is, and she continues to tell the same story over and over. That is lying. When you have been told, you're wrong.
Yeah. You're
wrong.
Either, well, look. Either
you're wrong.
There is another option. She's either consciously lying or she's just dumb. I mean, either one.
Here's the thing. That is possible, but I'm not going to call someone stupid as a caveat. Okay. Also, she could not be dumb and still be as successful as she is at marketing herself.
Well, you could be dumb in certain areas and smart. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here, okay? You could be But look,
intelligence comes in many forms.
But ultimately,
no, that's bullshit.
Let me go back a little bit.
You're smart enough to have such a popular Twitter feed and such a popular YouTube channel, and to engage in debates over and over and over again.
But is it
to take new information and continue to tell the same false information?
Could it be this? Could it be such a high degree of cognitive dissonance that even though she heard whatever the thing was and she knows better, like she'll pretend that she didn't hear that so that she can do this? Or do you think that this is
okay? All right. At what point does that level of cognitive dissonance become dishonesty,
good question.
Or a mental illness? I'm not going to, because I'm not one of the guys that says, religion is a mental illness. I don't go there.
Yeah, it can't be a mental illness. It can't be a mental illness because, as we know from SJ's own tweets, Christ cures mental illness. So,
I'm just saying, at what point?
I know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the answer for that. I think
actual cognitive denial of reality and facts that you'll be presented with that you can study yourself.
Whatever
can become dishonesty or cognitive dissonance. I mean,
in either case, though, obviously, you have to be very. See, I want to be very careful in saying, like, I don't want my whole argument to be, well, such and so is dishonest, therefore their argument,
or she's a liar.
like,
Those
that doesn't. That's independent of whether or not whatever given thing that she said.
And that doesn't address the arguments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like and that's the other thing. And just because they've lied in the past doesn't mean they can't stop or whatever. They can't, correct themselves and
I just
whatever.
don't know how to deal with people when they get to that point, because in my opinion, she's gotten to Kent Hovind levels.
Well, yeah, and
I literally do not know how to communicate with that person.
Right, and on an individual level, like what we're doing, like
I don't see how I can get through the mental shell they have about them.
And that's where you have to kind of go, okay, you're not really you're having a discussion, but it's not really with them, even though it is. You're really talking to the audience.
Right.
That's really, like, you and I, like, we could maybe say, okay, X is whatever, and we disagree and come to some sort of logical conclusion or whatever.
I have this empathy, and I really want to connect with the person I'm talking to,
You can't do that with everybody, though. I mean,
that's where I get angry, because when I get to that point with someone like SJ or Kent Hovind or whatever, and I get to that point, and I'm like, I really want to communicate with you because I understand that is what we need to do.
Well, you'd have to just
have not possible, and I just
you just have to talk about something else, like
give up.
You would have to switch to a different conversation about something that you're going to be able to talk about, with them in that case, because you're dealing with emotions and not with some. Like, you and them have realized we will never be able to debate this point, and so if we want to have any connection, we're going to have to talk about anything except for this.
Yeah, it gets difficult.
Oh yeah, because especially if you're interested in that.
Well, I mean, because like anyone who's an atheist from the South, I've had these difficulties with my family, and I'm lucky that my mom is smarter than me at least, and figuring out her own path now. It's interesting that she's gone towards paganism, but this same conversation is something that the fact that I can't communicate with someone like S.J. Thompson is also why I can't communicate with, like, my aunt or my grandfather.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because at least about this,
we're coming from such a different perspective, and I see nothing but dishonesty and repeating of pre-recorded lines from.
Well, I mean, you could talk about other things, but you couldn't talk about this. Is what I'm saying. Like, you could talk about the weather, but you couldn't talk about God, basically.
Right. But that doesn't mean I can't live with these other people.
Right. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I think.
But here's the thing: when we come down to it, the other side, quote unquote, if we're gonna, pretend like this is Skyrim and there are two different factions, the other side says that we have to believe what they believe, or else, so it becomes difficult to open lines of communication.
Yeah. It does. The only, and again, if you do get to that point, you have to just say, well, it is for the audience. And then, like, but of course, if you're not in a place like YouTube or on the stage in front of people and you're just having a one-on-one conversation, then
you can steer it away.
Unless you both agree to use logic as your foundation to have that discussion, I don't think it will end well.
Yeah, there's a good reason why I don't talk to most of my relatives.
Yeah. Okay, so hi to Spooky Bed Hair. tied to from the. I can never say Flamey's name right. From the grave to the flame ministry. I'll just call him Flamey. You know, I do want to.
I wasn't even watching the chat, but Spooky is here, and I want to say, like, I feel like a warm blanket has around me because just so much love and support in the atheist community, and you know, Spooky is one of those.
Yeah, I've seen him.
I had some trauma. I had some trauma myself this last few months, and one of the people who was there for me, you know.
Hey, Main Gun's here too. All right, we got cool people in the chat mostly. I'm in the chat, so I mean, you know, so not everybody is cool. Like,
so how do we address the when we see what we interpret as dishonesty? How do we address that from people like Kent Hovind or SJ?
I think that we.
How do we address that? Because my reaction is to just get angry and call them liars and pieces of shit.
Well, I mean, the only way I know is through logic and reason, and that's what I've tried to do on my channel, and that's what I'll continue to do.
Well, does that mean that as an atheist community, we pretty much are obligated to be more better educated in general? We're obligated to defend everything from the Big Bang to evolution and call everyone out on their shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
no,
we're taking on the obligation.
No, here's.
But how else do you do the high ground?
Well, here's my thought on that is that there is no obligation, quote unquote, or if there is, I don't know what it is, but I would say everybody has their thing that they can do that's maybe somebody else does it better than you, but you can do it really well. Okay, so maybe like I know now I can't think of his name unless I look it up on YouTube because my brain went. Say something while I look this up. No, you're funny.
Yeah. Hey, is that your brother there?
Yeah.
I don't remember his name other than something about honest theist something. But
yeah, reasonable theist is what we're calling.
Yeah. Now, hey, by the way, the talk I had with you really did help me out with my talks with my mom because
he can't hear you right now, but I'll deliver.
I'm sure he did. No, just pass it on. He was.
Yeah, I'll pass it on here. Hold on. He said that the talk that you had with him helped him out with how he talked to the people, family of
my
the.
mom.
All right, got it. Cool. Okay, great. Now, what is?
No, we're not good at this live streaming.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, look. If I ever look, I could be good. I choose not to be. That's the.
I prefer honesty over production value every day of the week.
Yeah. Oh, you should have video going on as you talk about stuff. No, why? No, I don't. I don't need to. I guess I could. You know. You'll get popular if you do that. Yeah. So what? Okay. Bite me. But okay, I can't. Nope, here it is. Skid Row trash. There we go. Hey, I found it. Okay, so Skid.
I don't have to kill time anymore.
You don't have to kill. Yeah, you didn't, by the way. But anyways,
I didn't. I'm not good at
that. But Skid Row trash. I know he's an atheist, but all he does on his YouTube is gaming. Like he won't go out of his way necessarily to say he's an atheist, but if it comes up, he would say it. So he has that thing that he does really well, and you don't have to be an activist, first of all. And secondly, if you are, there's many ways to be active and open as an atheist, and none of them are wrong because it lets people know, because as far as I know, last time they polled, America was still really down on atheists. And so the more it's like, hey, everybody that can be that in every profession and everything can be an atheist, like as that you'll get. Oh, I see this. That you're just a normal person, like you're not, this devil worshiping thing to be afraid of or whatever. So I don't think that there's a wrong way to be an atheist in that sense of like you were saying, the obligation. Ideally, in my world, everybody would know logic, and half the arguments that I've heard, even from some atheists who shall remain unnamed, will be bad arguments instead of good arguments. I prefer if everyone used good arguments instead of bad arguments. But that's just me.
100%. Like, some people have different reasons for being atheists, and your method of pure logic, or your attempt at pure logic, I find extremely admirable, and is basically the same path my brain goes down when I am examining, what is true and what is false. And so I agree with you. And while I don't have as much disagreement with some other YouTubers as you do, well, no, that's the thing. I'm not popular either.
You're not popular for a whole different reason.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm only popular with people who want to watch some guy get drunk and rant. But yeah, and I haven't made any videos in like 4 months.
There you go. Yeah.
I was gonna. Yeah, like I said, that I had a car accident and.
Look, man.
Knocked the wind.
Yeah, all these excuses. I had a car accident.
Yeah, whatever.
Next thing I know is you're going to be saying that you got a ticket for the car accident as you were having the accident.
What the fuck? How am I going to get a ticket for getting fucking run off the road? What the fuck?
Dude, explain this ticket to me, because
let's wrap it back around to the point of the whole fucking call and take the focus off of me for a second.
I want to understand that. You got a ticket for improper lane use because your car was upside down briefly on a lane.
No, because see, I live in West Texas, and the winds here get pretty bad. Right. So the wind blew a semi truck into my lane, and I went off the road, and my car flipped. Me and another car, actually. There was 2 of us, and the semi truck involved. But technically speaking, the cops showed up, and they want to write a ticket for everything, for fuck's sake. So the fact that I was alive and my dog Ox that was in the car with me, like, he got thrown out a window and like came walking up to me after the accident on the side of the road, like, where the fuck were you been? Like, all that is beside the point, and I'm very happy to have a $200 fucking fine and not be dead.
Yeah, I mean that's the good point. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be laughing if you did hurt her.
Yeah, because I mean, as far as all the insurance and everything else involved, everything else is cool. I just found it funny that I actually got a ticket during the whole thing. Technically, they did write me a ticket for improper lane usage. Out of everything involved, I actually got a ticket for it. So that was hilarious. And I'm like, well, my car's totaled. I had like 4 broken ribs and a dislocated shoulder, and and my dog got thrown off the fucking car. And well, but you know what? I lived. I'm okay with the $200 ticket. You know what? That's a $200 life fine. I'm okay with it. Fuck it.
Plus you can fight it in court and you might win.
Nah, I didn't even. I pleaded no contest, and this was 3 months ago. It was $200. I've made 3 payments. I'm done next month, and I already got a new car.
Oh, okay. Well.
So, like, I'm not even close to where you're at.
See, my version of this story is so much better. I'm just gonna make that.
It is. No. You know what? Here's the thing. I could tell a much better version of the story if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I could. I mean, with the whole, like, the semi truck swerving at me, and and my dog flipping over. getting thrown out the window. This is all
Now,
really
here's
happened.
what I think
I'm
about.
trying to downplay it. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of over it, and I'm trying to get past it.
Like, imagine what it is from the dog's perspective, though. Like, because he doesn't. They don't know. They don't know that they're in a car. Like, they just think like wind is coming. Like, wow, I'm not doing anything, but this is amazing. And now I'm flying in the air. I don't know what's going on. Oh wow, Hey, there's my owner. Hey, how's it going?
All of a sudden, the whole world is flipping upside down 3 or 4 times, and now I'm on the side of the road. Interesting.
All right, interesting. I'm not sure how that happened, but okay.
Let's get to that. Hey, how you doing, bro?
Yeah. Hey, it's that guy, the leader of
out of the vehicle.
Because dogs kind of see.
He's like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, hey, how you other dogs think we're other dogs or something, or is that cat?
We pretty much are. We're just mammals, all of us.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, yeah, whatever.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean.
So moving back, I kind of stretched out your live stream, and I can't hang out here forever. I just wanted to point out, back to the original comment, and I wanted to because I actually read a couple of comments. Dr. Obvious, I completely agree 100% with like literally the last 4 things I've seen him post. In that, yes, SJ completely. She's been corrected multiple times. She continues to misrepresent science. Also, as he points out, we viewed her making the same arguments over and over, and she ignores like any rationalistic approach to her arguments. I completely agree. She is 100% dishonest, and that's why I joined the stream to begin with. Besides getting sidetracked 1,000 fucking times,
yeah.
The whole point is talking about dishonest apologetics. Okay,
well,
I put SJ in the same category as I put Kent Hovind and Eric Hovind and what's his name, Banana Comfort.
Well, look, what you've got to do.
Literally, they have been corrected. They have the opportunity to do their homework. They have the opportunity to study. They have been corrected multiple times, and they stick with the same argument. They know is fallacious. They know they are lying, and that's the point I wanted to make.
Okay, cool, good point. Let me ask you this, even though it's kind of a
side 10 as well. Yes.
Yeah, side 10 Burger Gate. Yeah.
Side 10 booger face.
Yeah. Booger face, whatever. Did you know the Satanist apologist or sorcerer at all?
I literally had a couple of comments in him with chats. So, and the fact that I saw the video you posted, and he is deciding to exit with some dignity, is both brave and sad. But here's the thing: is the fact that I've been in chats with him for the past like 2 years and never knew once that he had cancer.
Yeah,
that man
I didn't know either. Yeah,
that man is a fucking saint.
I mean,
like, how do you do that? Like, I complained the second I got in a fucking car accident, and look at God. Was Iowan who has a Patreon account to get himself a new car.
Would have never known from the talk that we had.
Not a shame, but come on, man.
He amazing guy. I don't know, maybe he's already gone.
It's cool, but come on now, bro. I know for a fucking car,
Well, anyways, I just wanted to see
moving on.
If you knew him or not or whatever, because I'm hoping.
Seriously, that's insane. Like,
yeah.
how did this man make such an amazing impact on the community, and none of us knew how much suffering?
And with my mind, the way it is, like while I was talking about him, like I couldn't remember anything, and so I don't know, but
really, because he's comment on my channel.
I know. I was like, I know him, but my brain refuses.
What's his fucking name? Darth Dawkins and shit. Like me and Scorsifer are both like taking turns taking shots at him in chat.
Yeah, he very. That will be a little bit less without that mind around. I really think. Not to end this on a sad note. I mean, but
no, it's better. It's better.
just where my mind went to because
it's not sad.
Yeah,
it's
no, it is. Well,
respectful.
Yeah. Maybe we're all wrong and he's fine because he's, okay.
Yeah, we could be trolled. We could be trolled, but the thing is if we're gonna take things on faith, then I choose to accept that human suffering happens.
Yeah. Well, I think that
to hope and believe that we can rise above it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And one day, somebody will figure out how to beat all these different things, and maybe even that we won't have to die. That's a thing possible.
You know what I guarantee you the answer won't be?
It won't be God. Maybe it would be. Wouldn't it? That wouldn't surprise me. Maybe it's S.J. Thompson is God, and that's why nothing makes sense. I don't know.
It doesn't make fucking sense because it's honest. That is the whole point of this whole discussion is about S.J. and the whole topic we point out is she is dishonest.
Also, David Jeremiah is also dishonest. Let's throw him under the bus while we're at it. Okay, Guy. Thanks for coming in here and talking to me.
Thanks for allowing me in here.
Oh, well, I mean, why wouldn't I? I don't care who comes in. Whatever. Flame and I are going to have a debate at some time later on. Not really sure exactly when or if it's going to be live or what we're going to do yet. I'm still, see, this microphone is my... is not the good one that I want to use. That one is over here, and I thought I had it set up. Turns out I don't. I don't know what I'm doing. So thank you, Dr. Oblivious. Yeah, that I tried to hold SK's feet to the fire.
Tried, but you backed off sooner than I would have.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah. Main Gun, I love Main Gun. Main Gun's great. I've talked to him before. We've talked. I mean, that's the thing. That's why I said I wasn't really being trying to inflate anybody. Or is that the people that I've interacted over the years on YouTube have always been high quality characters for the most part. The theists, I mean they've been all over the place. The thing that I find most interesting is, by the way, you can go at any time if you want. By the way, I don't know if Snuffy's still there. He might be gone. No, he's still there. Okay. Is that every now and then I'll get some random comment on some video I did like ages ago or whatever. And so this was in response to the Soul Phone. And like we were just talking about how silly the Soul Phone was, and doesn't have any. It's not even an invention, nor is it an invention that anyone can make. And this guy is like, here we go, ignorant fools out there that always have to debunk and criticize what they don't know about. Not worth listening to the rubbish. Now wait a minute. So it's not a good idea to debunk or criticize if you don't know about it, but you didn't listen to what we said, so how do you know that we didn't say... So that comment doesn't make sense to me. So every now and then I'll get something like that. My favorite ones that I haven't gotten in a long time were on the Bob Barber video. That was my favorite because it was so weird to see how people will defend somebody that's been called out on being a scam artist. Like, I think Jen with the one N was talking about having to figure out how to debunk psychics to her sister or friend or cousin or somebody. I don't know. But I was saying, tell them I'm a psychic, and I'll just pretend to be a psychic, and then I'll reveal that I'm not a psychic after I do a cold reading of them, because it's not hard to do. Anyone can do it. It's easy. So But with Bob Barber, you have this guy that's saying, "Oh, I can interpret your dreams." No, he can't. He doesn't. He can't do anything. He doesn't have any power. He doesn't have any ability in that regard. And it's like, well, because I lied to tell him a dream that wasn't real, that means I am the one that's at fault, even though he couldn't interpret the dream. So all the things that he said about the dream were obviously wrong because the dream's made up. That's the point. It's like, but yet,
epic Rickroll of all time.
Oh yeah, okay, I loved it.
Like literally, that was just like the personification of a meme, and the fact that not everyone in the world gets it is hilarious.
No, people
That's
want.
really the best Rickroll I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun. I was sweating bullets trying to get him to upload the video as soon as possible. I had this pretend friend that was an atheist on the verge of converting, and if he saw the video response, that this would convince him to switch. And like, I was like, as soon as you have it uploaded, I have to know, because I knew that as soon as he uploaded it, it was a ticking time bomb before it got removed. And so I downloaded it as soon as he uploaded it. And like, it was like not even a minute later that you got somebody saying, that's like the Rick Astley song, and like there's anyways, so yeah. Let's see how many people did the soul phone thing. 55 views on the soul phone, Dr. Oblivious. So not 2. Come on. Give me a little credit. He has a TV show? Oh. Seatbelt Psychic? No, I haven't seen that. There's an atheist answer? No, Grave, there isn't. That's why we're complaining about SJ.
Oh, wow. From the grave.
Snuffy, why are you still here, Snuff? I thought you were going. I mean, you're fine.
I literally was.
And then you decided not to. That's cool.
And now I'm just sort of like, well, I'm sitting here. I'm ready to cut off at any moment.
You just want to slowly drift into oblivion as we talk, or as I talk.
Yeah, so I enjoy your ranting occasionally, and you do notice I do disagree with you occasionally and point it out, but
but I'm always right. That's the thing.
No, you're not. No, See, I suffered from that same delusion. Because being right like 90% of the time makes you kind of biased, because then you think you're always.
But see, the thing is, the more I learn, the more I know that I know nothing. Because
exactly, and then you realize how often you're wrong, and then you realize, well, I'm mostly right most of the time.
No, yeah,
that
like,
does it.
Yeah, but yeah, Flame and me, we're gonna debate. What the bleep is the topic of the debate now? Because I want to.
If you guys want to jump into a debate tonight.
Not today. No.
No. Okay.
No, I don't have my syllogism ready or anything. No. I told him to. He better script out a good opening, because it's not going to be good. It's going to be brutal, man. But the topic will be.
Unless we're gonna talk more about SJ.
No, you can go. You can go.
I should probably head out.
I'm gonna mumble a few more things, and then I'm gonna be done.
Good.
Unless somebody else really just. Yeah, unless somebody desperately wants to talk to me live for some bizarre reason, and they say so in chat, I'll be ending soon here. But yeah, I wanted to say that Grave and I are gonna have a debate. I don't know when. So this is not really an announcement, so I don't know why I'm mentioning it. But he's in the chat, so I thought I'd say something. Oh, the debate topic will be, can Yahweh be shown to be good or evil in the Bible, or something? Now I can't remember offhand, but something very close to that. So it's gonna be interesting. Hopefully he's learned enough logics and that he'll have a good syllogism, but we'll see.
I look forward to it.
I do, yeah. Meanwhile, I've got to edit. Still have to edit my side of the conversation for a fake debate that me and Johnny Drive-By had, where the topic of the question is what makes something a god. So the question here is what attributes, what things does something have to possess before you would call that thing a god?
Would you call Thanos a god?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. You got the idea immediately. So it's like, okay, it can do this, this, and this, therefore it's a god. Like at what?
I played D&D for 30 years.
Yeah.
I understand the topic entirely, yes.
Okay. Did I already do my D&D story with you?
Yeah, well, about designing a legendary Pokeball and then have the...
Yeah. That's my only cool story. Yeah.
Sounds like a shitty... I just want to point that out. Sounds like a shitty DM.
He didn't let me do it? Yeah. Well, the bad one was I had drawn up this character, and it was like one of the first times I was ever playing, and like I didn't really know what how to. The guy was like, "We're gonna be serious here and whatever," and it was like, I don't know, uncover this secret thing, and there was some like arena that you could go in and talk to people. So I'm like, yeah, we're looking for this guild. And like apparently they're secretive. So if anyone knows anything, let me know. It's like that was dumb. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. And then like he had this bird come and attack me and kill me because what I was doing didn't make sense. But it was making sense to me what I was doing. But anyway.
You know, some of the cool kids, like what is it, Godless Cranium and stuff, have a D&D game going on. We should have a D&D game going on for, like, you know, the less popular kids.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, the other one was the Star Trek role-playing game we did. And the one guy was a Klingon, and I was like a Trill, and the other one was human. But we were going to a planet of humanoids, but they're still not us. They're something else. And it's like, I said to the guy that was playing the Klingon, I'm like, look, you probably, because we're more human, they're closer to looking like us than you. Maybe you should hang back because they might be scared of an alien. I was like, I'm not an alien. I'm a Klingon. I thought it was the funniest thing. And then, like, later on, he dug a hole and he was hiding in the hole. I don't know why. And, like, we're trying to get these colonists evacuated from this planet. So now I had a phaser. I'm like, okay, shoot the phaser on stun in order to quiet them down because they were all panicking. But I didn't say where to aim. So it's like, okay, you just shot the main guy. I'm like, well, everyone thinks he's dead because they don't know. I'm like, fine, wide beam, stun everybody. So I did, and then we just throwing them in the shuttle. I was like, pack them all in, whatever, throw them in, we gotta get them up. So we solved the mission. Yeah.
Done. We got everyone.
We got everyone in the shuttle. The bodies just piled on top of each other, all unconscious. We'll sort it out later.
See, my issue with the entire Star Trek universe is that teleporters are suicide booths.
Yeah.
Just want to point that out. You can fight me over it.
Yeah.
On that note, I'm gonna leave.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Goodbye.
It's
hey,
pre-pass.
let me know next time you're gonna do a talk with SJ because there's.
Yeah, I doubt he'll ever agree to talk to me again. But
there's some specific issues that her feet need to be held on the fire on. You know.
Yeah.
And I think you touched on them, which is probably why she won't debate.
or have a discussion. Well, she doesn't debate though. So I think she's tried to debate, but I would love to actually debate her, but yeah, it's not gonna happen. People don't like to debate me because I kind of know a little bit about logic, so yeah.
Well, and here's the thing though, is that you miss a lot of the points that I would make that aren't based entirely on logic.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's why me and you disagree.
It's always easy too, of course.
But I don't get to the logical points you do because I'm always being tied down by other ethical, points.
We should discuss meta ethics sometime.
We
That
should.
might be a thing. Okay,
But
anyways.
not tonight.
No. Rudolph says it's 3 past midnight. Not to me.
And
It's
I'm out
not.
of here. Peace
Yeah.
out. Have fun.
Bye, lobsters. Bye. Okay. It's not. It's the Earth is flat, Rudolph. I don't know why you're pretending it's 3 past midnight. Let's see. Different time zone. Yeah. What else? What else can I tell you guys and gals and robots? Man, I feel
Lobsters exist.
I feel empty without him now. Well, so I don't think we should boycott, but I do think we should respond. And David Jeremiah is a big phony and wants your money. And everyone in the chat is pretty cool. And thanks. If you like my content, subscribe, I guess. If you don't like my content, subscribe anyways. And just ignore what I do. I've got other videos that are better than this. See y'all whenever. I won't see you, but you'll see me. You won't see me either. You'll hear me. You know what? No. Meow, 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 meow. Nom, nom, nom. Bye. Okay. Let's